everyone, it's Katrina from the Paper Parrot, and I'm going to go over the mixed media kit for June. And I've already made a bit of a mess, and I've been working on mine. This is mine. These are my kids and my husband. But I kind of wanted to go over what's in the kit, even though it's kind of messy. So you'll get one of these art stands, and it's a little tripod, so you would be able to pop this open in the back and stand it up, just like that. How cute is that? So it'll stand up. I'm giving this to my husband for Father's Day. So I wanted something that he could put on his shelf at work, and I put a photograph on it. But the one that comes in the kit just says Believe and has a birdie on it. So you'll get one of these. Set that aside. Sorry about my mess here. I was just so into it before and then I got too far. I was like, oh, I better stop and go over what's in the kit. So you'll get one of those art boards. You'll get some brown ribbon. And some various hardwares that I had picked up. These look like little, I think they call them roller bars, but anyway, a few of these, probably about 3 or 4 of these. I just went to the hardware and I looked through all the little bins. I love the hardware store, and I picked up some big ones and small ones of these. I couldn't even tell you what they are. I'm sure somebody out there somewhere knows exactly the name of those. And not that. Some little tiny, they look like copper rings. They look like split jump rings. So I got a bunch of those because I like the color. And these are little screws with a hex top. Again, I liked the black. And so I'm including a few of those. And I don't think I'm going to end up using this, but I'm going to include it in the kit anyway, because if you could figure out how to do it, you stick a nail through here and you attach it to something, but I thought it would be great to use as a tag holder. I mean, look at how industrial and steampunk kind of that is. But I couldn't figure out how to attach it to anything at first. And, oh, these are, you're going to get a small one and a large. These are little Tim Holtz light bulbs. They're so old school. I just loved them. But again, I don't think I'm going to use them in my project. But how cute is that going to be if you can utilize it in yours? You're going to get a few different types of papery flowers. There's a few in here. Some of that size, maybe some small ones. There was a larger one around here a minute ago. And oh, I'll throw in some moss. I love moss. And because, you know, it's for my husband, who happens to be, he's a biochemist, so he's a big science, smart guy, works in cleaning up Superfund sites, but he loves being outdoors. And so I wanted to do more of like an outdoor theme for him, and we went camping, and these little flowers too. So some of these, a few more of those, and I think that's it. So that's the kit for June. So I kind of wanted to go over what I had done so far. I'm going to scoot all this stuff over to the side. Your stuff will come all packaged so beautifully. But for right now, so what I had done is I had taken this original piece and I had Mod Podged it with matte Mod Podge, and I just stuck my photograph down, which is of my husband and my kids when we went camping, gosh, 2 years ago. And I just thought it was appropriate for all of these things and elements I wanted to put on here. So on the side here, I made a little pocket area. Just out of paper, I cut a little strip and I distressed the edges. I used, well, I'm pretty old school. I used my ink pad. I'm wondering where that other little strip of paper went. Anyway, I dabbed on my ink pad, and oh, here it is. And I just inked the edges and distressed it. This is just a little pink piece of felt that I had for my kids' crafty area. So I just distressed the edges. Ooh. Then I took my tacky glue and I just went along the very edge, little tiny bead of glue, and then put it on the edge over here, because I purposefully cut my photograph so I'd have more room on this side. So now I have a little place where I'm going to tuck some little notes in here, some little tags, maybe about our trip, or probably not any more pictures, but yeah, maybe 2 little notes about our trip, like where we went and what was significant about this tree they were all sitting on. It was a really cute little time we had. And so anyway, I'm not quite done with that, but I wanted to show you the little piece of paper that I'd stuck over there. Made a little pockety type thing. So let's get my ink out of the way. So what I was working on now was with all of these different elements here, and the big one too. What I came up with was a way of using the brown ribbon to string these elements together. But what I had to do first, I don't know if you could see that. See how it's kind of split? Makes it easy for the plumber or whoever's using it to get it open and closed. But what I had to do is take my old school tools and I wanted to flatten it out. I didn't want it all puckery like that. So I straightened them out, and I closed it up, and now I just have a little ring of that kind of coppery color, and I really liked that. So what I've done is I've strung them on this ribbon. How cute is that? So I'll show you how I did that. And I'm going to lay that here, probably glue it down like that. So where's my little piece of ribbon? I had an orange piece around here. Hang on here. Okay, so I had this orange piece I was just going to demo on because the brown was so dark that I didn't think you would be able to see it very well. So this middle piece of metal moves. You can stick it on either end if you want, or put it in the middle if you really want, but it'd make it more difficult to thread the ribbon. I squished mine down to the very end so it was really thick here and a little thinner here, but totally up to you. And what I found with these little washers is that you could just thread it on the ribbon. Oops. And you could poke it up in between here. Pull the ring. Sorry, my hands are a bit shaky because I had coffee. And then I took this and strung it in here. Oops. Of course, with the thicker ribbon, it helps hold it in. And that's it. And then I'm going to lay it down, and probably going to put some glue in here. I'm going to go find that glue that Mary had in her previous mixed media kit where she glued the metal pieces down. I think it's called 6000 or something. I have some that I need to go find. Or I'm going to hot glue. I haven't decided. But that's how I'm going to string them together and put them over here. So I've got a small one and a large one strung on the dark brown ribbon. And then So this actual leaf does not come in your kit, but I'll see if I have a bunch of these. I might be able to find a box or two to throw in with your guys' kits this time, but I'll see what I can do. So what I did with this is I distressed it as well, because they came really bright. Ooh, look at how bright those are. Much more springy than I wanted. So again, I just distressed these with brown. I use the Stays On solvent ink pad for every surface. Stays On. I would use any type of ink that's not going to come off, but if you only have the distressed inks from Tim, try them out and see how you like them. So I ended up cutting mine a little here, and I'm going to like fold it in on itself so it gives it a slight pucker. And then I'm going to take one of these, which I had nipped the end off, otherwise it has this little pokey outy thing. And I'm going to stick it, oh wait, this was one of my paper flowers that I distressed with the brown ink. Put that in there, and this here, and I'm going to put it down here, because I didn't want anything too flowery, this would be kind of weird. And then I took one of the paper flowers and I distressed it with, again, with the brown ink, and I put one of these screws in here, and I'm going to glue it just maybe on the side here. I think that'll be so cute. And then I'm going to have my tags in here. So when I come back, I'm going to have this all glued down, and you can see what I've done. Alright. Okay, so I'm back, and I've glued everything down, and I changed this space up a little bit over here, and I wanted to show you how I had done that. I was able to incorporate one of the little light bulbs, which I thought looked so cool. And I've glued everything down. So, I'm just going to put this over here. So in the kit you get a large one, a medium, and a little smaller one, and these two I had already used with the ribbon on the edge. And I forgot about this little teeny one. So what I had done for this section, in the very back, I took one of the paper flowers and just, it's basically brown. I covered it with a bunch of brown, and then I layered it. I cut 2 leaves off and then layered it. So I glued this part down and then this part over the top to give it a more layered look. And then I glued this, kind of sticking up because hot glue can do that and give you a little bit of depth. And then I glued this over the top, and it gives. And then over that I did some moss and glued that down, so it all kind of held it together. As you can see here, there's the moss, and then over the top of that, you can see I've got this, again, distressed the edges. I basically took it and dabbed it all over the ink pad, just the tips of the flowers. Again, nipped this section off because it's just too pokey. If you find that it's too thick to reach through all of the moss, you know, you might want to leave it on. So test it first and see if it works for you. I just nipped mine off. So, again, test and see what works for you. So I glued this one down, and then this flower right here, again, I had distressed with ink, and then I added even more ink, and you can see it's a little bit of glitter on there. And you know, my husband's obviously not really foofy and doesn't like a lot of glitter, and I had to keep reminding myself I wasn't making this for me. That would have, you know, tons of flowers and glitter and pretty foofy stuff on it. I was making it for him, so I'd really tried to tone it down. But what I had done is I'd really inked it up dark brown, and then I took one of these jelly pens. It's like a copper, and then I just drew the lines. I just followed the lines. Doot, doot, doot. And you can't really see it because it was so dark. I guess I should do this first. I'm so messy today. Look at me. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. I just wanted it really dark. This might be a little dark for you, but you know, pick what color you want. You might want a really green one, but I thought that this just added a little bit of brown, like a sunset, and a slight amount of glitter in it. Or if you know you have your own little loose glitter, just put a little glue on the edges and sprinkle a little glitter over the top. Look at how pretty that would be with that. Just darling, I think. And let's see, I've got my tags in here. I haven't put my lettering on them yet. And this one I had a boo-boo on. I thought, oh, what a great idea of mine. I'm going to put a little rub on there. Well, it kind of stuck. And that looks like a spider, which is even better because when we went camping, there was bugs and spiders everywhere. So that really worked out. So in the end, for the final pictures, I'm going to have these ribbons on this, and then we'll be all done. So thanks everybody, and this was super simple, sweet project, and when you finish yours, if you'd like, feel free to post your pictures on our website or a video and send it to us. Alright, happy June everybody. Bye.